Hey, what's up everybody? Josh Hall here with another product review. Today we are going to be looking at the Viltrox RB10 light. Let's get to it.
This video is brought to you by The Cinemachine, teaching you how to make better videos and more money as a video producer. These courses help us to continue to make great content on YouTube, and a percentage of the profits go to charities. Check it out at thecinemachine.com.
So this video is actually piggybacking on the Viltrox 162T light. Because they're very similar, I figured that I would just review them at the same time, but have them be separate videos. So go check out that video if you want to see that one. They do vary in price just barely. The 162T is $33, $35 on Amazon, somewhere in there. And this light runs $43 to $45. This is an absolutely amazing little light, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. I have a ton of different lights though, everything from Airy lights, Mole Richardson lights, Quasar Science lights, Kino Flow tube lights, Lowell lights. I've got an incredible variety of lights in my grip electric trailer, but I really like picking up these inexpensive lights because of the value that you get. This one in particular is pretty exceptional. So first of all, in the package, it comes with the light head, and then it also comes with this detachable stand mount. It has a 1/4 20 thread on the bottom. It has an articulating head on it so that you can adjust the angle. And then it has a spot for a battery, which it actually includes. Snap that in place, and then it comes with a charger, as well as a little diffusion sheet. So let's turn it on. Simple on-off switch. On the back side here, we can see that we can dim it all the way down to 20%. This one goes a lot higher in Kelvin than the 162T. This goes all the way up to 8,500 Kelvin. I'm just going to go down, all the way down to 2,500 Kelvin, which is really, really nice. So there we've got that kind of bicolor feature. I can click back up. So let's see, let's go to 3,200. And then I'm going to click back up. So we just push the button in to toggle between changing the light intensity and then the Kelvin reading. So let's go back up to this one. I'm going to go all the way to 100%. We also have a battery meter right here, which is really, really nice to have. During your production, you can see exactly how much battery you have left. Here's where this light shines. If I hold the button in, so obviously if we just push it once, we'll go back and forth between changing Kelvin or changing brightness. Since there's only one knob, that's how they do it. But if I push and hold down the knob, that's when we get to the RGB feature. Now, as far as I can tell, there's no way to adjust the brightness of the RGB when it's on, but it is a really, really neat feature. It goes from 0 to 299, and if we scroll through it, we'll see all of the different color options that we can choose from. Having RGB feature is a really great way to future-proof lighting with the advances that they're making in LED technology, which completely revolutionized the industry even since I've been in it. We've seen these amazing advances in RGB technology. If you push it in one time, it'll actually just cycle. So we'll just let it cycle so you can see all the different colors and hues that you can create. Again, not the most advanced light. We can't, for instance, on my Pavo tube lights, we can actually adjust the saturation on those particular lights. So we can choose between 0 and 360 on those, and then we can actually adjust the saturation or the hue, which is really, really cool. But having this feature is really, really cool. I can see this light being used for a lot of different things. We could set it on the ground, make the background an interesting color during an interview. Boy, we could have cool lighting effects on our wall, for instance. If we do need to dim it, we could always use a little ND gel in front of it. Or we could put a little bit of diffusion on it if we wanted to soften it up, but also cut down a little bit on the light. So there are a number of things that we can do to dim this little light, but again, for $45, this is an absolute steal in terms of what you get. Now, it's one thing to talk about the light. It's a whole nother thing to see what it looks like on a subject. So let's get to that in just a second. We're going to go back to bicolor mode. Here we go. Check out how bright that light is. Really, really impressive. This light, though, also has another really cool feature. So you can attach this mount to the 1/4-20 on the bottom of the light. There's also another 1/4-20 on the top, but then there's these weird kind of things on the side. And that is, if you have another light, here's the 162T that I bought so I could compare the two. You can actually snap them together like that and create one monster light. So you can keep connecting them for as many lights as you buy, I suppose, and you know, have that much more power with your lighting. So that is really cool. So you know, kind of a way to future-proof your lights, make your lights a little bit brighter. Again, I'm incredibly impressed by what Viltrox has done. I consider, you know, more pro or pro-amateur lights at least having a plug-in option, so that way you don't have to run off a battery powered. Having the battery power option is incredibly nice, especially in run and gun situations. But if you're doing anything where the interview might be an extended amount of time, you're always going to want to plug your light in so as to not have that light die in the middle of your interview, because nothing speaks amateur more than a light going out during an interview. So we do want that plug-in option. It does have that, which is really, really nice. So let's go take a look at what we can do cinematically with this light. All right, so we've got the RB10 set up as our key light here. This is just going to be a single key light, no fill, because we do have a little bit of light coming in from the windows here, even with the drapes closed off. But let's kind of see what we can do with this RB10 light. Okay, striking. There we go. We've got the lovely chandelier here as our model. And so that's looking pretty good. That is the RB10 with the diffusion in front of it. Let me take that diffusion off. You'll see more of a change in intensity than you will in softness, although it is, you know, kind of frosted. It's doesn't make a huge change. It softens a little bit. It's nice. Let's see what else we can do here, though. We've got back here a Litra, small little Litra light. Let's turn that on. That's at 3200 Kelvin. Our key light's at 5600 Kelvin. And we can turn on, I've got another Viltrox here, 162T. So this is kind of a very nice, easy travel light setup here that we can utilize. And we can see that we can get some pretty nice looks with these lights. The 162T back there that we're using just to splash a little bit of light onto the background is very similar to the RB10 that we have up here as the key light. But this would be a really pretty nice interview setup right here. So we balanced our camera to 5600 Kelvin, our key light's 5600 Kelvin, and then we've got 3300 Kelvin and 3200 Kelvin on our Litra and on our 162T. That keeps the background very nice and warm. Let me just show you what this might look like if we turn off our key light striking. Now this is kind of a, you know, maybe a little bit more mysterious. We've created a silhouette. We do have a nice hair light though to kind of separate her. If you were doing something kind of dramatic, this could be, you know, kind of interesting, kind of lends itself to one of those, what are they, you know, those like mysterious interview subjects on those crime documentaries back in the 90s. Kind of has that flavor to it. We can dim up that background light just a hair. But that Litra light coming down as her kind of hair shoulder light there with that diffusion on it gives us a really great, nice light quality, which I really enjoy. So let's turn this back on. Now, of course, the cool thing about this light is that it is not only bicolor. So let me show you. We'll go down and make this warm. And then we can adjust our white balance in camera. Let's go down and match at 3200 Kelvin. So now everything should be fairly white. This is at 2500, which explains why we're a little bit golden here. Let's go back up to 32. There we go. Now we've got nice white. That is kind of cool though that it can go down to 2500 Kelvin. Our little RB10 up here is our key light, because it gives us, it could give us like a sunrise, sunset, kind of a golden hour light, which is kind of nice. But this would be, you know, kind of a decent setup. And of course, let's take a look at the color options on this thing. So it's going to kind of rotate through a bunch of different colors. We can see though that we drop in intensity quite a bit. So you can't, as far as I can tell, adjust the intensity when you go into color mode. And so you kind of just get what is given to you here. But we can of course adjust all the way around that spectrum, which is really pretty cool. You can see though that this light is very bright, very nice. We could certainly use this as a key light in interview setups. Of course, it would be great if we had some diffusion. This light runs cool since it's LED, it's battery operated, so we could actually just use a little bit of gaff tape, and we could actually gaff tape some better diffusion on there. We could even kind of tape it on both ends. If we had like a 12-inch by 12-inch sheet, we could tape it on the top and bottom, have it kind of bow out in the center. That'll give us even more softness. Let's go back to, there we go. This looks really good though. At 3200 Kelvin, we've matched really quite well. Let me show you what we can do intensity wise. So let's drop it. We were at 100% there. I should mention that my camera settings are 2.8 aperture and ISO 400. So we can see at 100%, this light being about maybe 5 or 6 feet here from Chandelier, we can see that we've got a really, really great interview light that at lower apertures, we can really get a nice look. But again, that looks really nice, great for you know, kind of a simple interview setup. If we wanted a little bit more drama, we could put it beside her here. See what that might look like with our diffusion on. If we're moving that much closer to her, we're going to take that intensity down quite a bit. Let's take it down to 60%. There we go. Now we've created something really dramatic there. We've got our upstage key light. You know, we could get a little bit of bounce in here to the right side of her face if we wanted to fill this in a little bit more. But again, great lights, very small, very compact, really a nice light source for interview style lighting. So this would definitely be something that I could see me carrying with me for a shoot where I've got to fly somewhere, because these will fit in a case really well. They won't take up a whole lot of weight in my baggage that I'll have to check on the airplane. And of course, you know, if you've got 50 pounds max at the airport to check your luggage, you want something that is really compact and really lightweight, and this definitely fits that bill. Great little light. I'm super impressed. You know, I was always a fan of those little newer lights. These just take those and they just up the quality. They're really phenomenal lights. It's so nice to have this little digital screen on the back that gives us our readout. Again, if we just spin it, it's going to adjust intensity. If we push it in once, it's going to adjust our color temperature, and it goes up to 8500. And then we can go all the way down to 2500. Let's go back to 32. If we hold it down, that's how we get to color mode, and then we can just rotate this dial and adjust the color on the light. Okay, let's go ahead and test the lux on our Viltrox RB10 light. This is 100%. This is 100% intensity at 5600 Kelvin. Let's see if I tip it this way a little bit more. Yeah, we'll be right around 940-ish lux 940. Okay, yeah, right around 940 lux on our RB10. Let's see what happens on the RB10 when we put it into color mode. I'm interested to see how much intensity we lose. So here we are again, testing our lux. 240 lux. Okay. So we lose quite a bit of intensity when we go to color. All right, next let's test our Viltrox 162T at 100% at 5600 Kelvin. Let's see what we get here. Whoa. So maybe around 1600 lux. All right, guys, so here are my closing thoughts on the Viltrox RB10. It is a little bit less powerful than the Viltrox 162T, but what I found is that the color at 5600 Kelvin is more accurate than the 162T. There's a green cast on the 162T, which I don't necessarily love. The other thing about the RB10 is that it gives you that color spectrum that you can change to. Yes, it's a little bit underpowered, but being able to be RGB in the LED world is going to future-proof your light. So for a little bit of extra money, I think that you get quite a bit more bang for your buck. So of course there are trade-offs between the two lights, but I can highly recommend the Viltrox RB10 light. I hope that this video has been helpful. Click subscribe and check out our other videos on our channel.